Hey guys, what's up? Lore Master here, and we're back with another Minecraft modding tutorial video. In this episode, I know it's been a little while, but we're going to be making blocks inside of our mod. It's very similar to how we made items in the last tutorial video. We already have much of the structure set up actually, so it's a lot easier this time. But yeah, we'll be making a custom block, and I'll be guiding you through that. So last time we left off, we had our item base right here. So what we're going to be doing is a lot of copy and pasting in this episode essentially, because it's like I said, it's a lot like creating items, just a little bit harder, I guess is what I would say. But anyway, so what you're going to want to do is first off go over to your com.loremaster.tutorialmod or whatever you named it, your main package, and right click, and you're going to make a new package. And right after tutorial mod or whatever you named your mod, add a dot, and this one is going to be called blocks. And this is going to complement our items package that we have right here with item base. So just like with our item base, inside of blocks, the package, you're going to right click, create a new class, and this one is going to be called block base. And this is going to hold all of our main block information. So you can see in item base we have where our creative tab is set, and we're just setting the registry stuff, and making sure that it actually runs and is inside of our inventory. So we'll be doing the same thing in a second, but for now we're going to leave that blank. And inside of init, our other package right here, which also has mod items, we're going to create a new class, and this one is going to be called mod blocks. So we'll be doing most of our work in these two classes, and they're going to complement each other, and hopefully we'll be able to make a working block through that. Alright, so jumping right inside of our mod blocks class, first thing, just bring down this bracket for aesthetic purposes, and inside these brackets just make a few spaces, and the first thing we're going to do is create a list to hold the blocks that we're going to be creating. So we're going to create a public static final list with triangle brackets and block inside of that, since it's a list of blocks. And this is going to be called blocks in all capitals. It's in all capitals because it's a static object. That's just a Java syntax thing. But that's going to equal new array list with triangle brackets again and block inside of it, and a set of parentheses. I always say quotation marks. No, they're parentheses, and a semicolon. And you're going to get a few errors, so we're going to import some things. First, import list. You're going to import that from java.util, then block from net.minecraft.block, and array list from java.util as well. And if you save, that should get rid of any errors. And now we have a list, but there's nothing in the list, so we're going to actually add our block now. So make a few spaces, and we're going to create a public static final block this time. And this is going to be the name of your block. So just like in our mod items class last time, how we had Ruby or whatever, or obsidian ingot, blah blah blah. In this time we're gonna have Ruby, but we're gonna add a block. So Ruby underscore block. It can be whatever your object is gonna be. I'm making a Ruby block because I made a Ruby last time, and I thought it would make sense if we could craft our rubies into a block. But if you're making hardened dirt, for example, you'd put hardened underscore dirt underscore block. Just make sure you have block on the end so that we don't get it confused with items, because they're going to look exactly the same. So make sure you add a block on the end. That's all that's important. So mine's going to be Ruby underscore block, and this is going to equal a new block base, and in parentheses a set of quotation marks, and inside those quotation marks, same as you put here but in lowercase. So Ruby underscore block, and then a little comma and a space, and type material. Now what you're going to want to do here is hit a period, and you'll get all these different, or I guess dot, period or dot, whatever you call it, and you're going to get a bunch of different types of materials here. These are all the different Minecraft materials, and it's whatever you want to set your block material to be. We'll be going into custom blocks later. I know this is a custom block, but you can greatly customize the exact type of sound you want on your block, the hardness level, all that sort of stuff. We'll be doing that later, but for now we're just making a basic block. So I would go with iron for now if you don't want a specific type. So I'm just gonna put iron material.iron, but as you can see on this list, there's a ton. Grass is good. Just go with whatever type of block yours is. If it's a dirt block, you should probably go with grass, that sort of thing, but we'll be going into that in more detail later. So for now, don't worry about it, just hit iron and a semicolon afterwards, and make sure to import block base from your blocks, if that's what it's called. Yeah, your blocks package. We'll be adding that later into block base, so you'll get a little error here. Don't worry about that, we'll fix it in a second. Alright, so now we're going to go into our blockbase.java and set up some of the parameters about a basic block. So don't worry, like I said, don't worry about this error, we'll be fixing it later. But go to your blockbase.java in your blocks package, and inside of here, first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that blockbase, actually kick this down first, but blockbase is going to extend, so extends block, and it's also going to implement, so implements I has model, which is, if you don't remember from the last episode, it's that it's an util. It's the interface that we made down here. Looks like this, just has our register models method inside of there. But yeah, make sure you import both of these. So import I has model, and also import block from net.minecraft.block. And blockbase, yeah, we'll add in a constructor later, but don't worry about that. So once you've imported those, go inside of these brackets here, and we're going to be creating a public constructor. So public block base in parentheses, string name inside of those, comma, material, and material again. And you can create a set of brackets below this, and inside of this we're going to be doing exactly the same thing as we put in item base. You can see in item base, this sort of stuff, we're going to be putting pretty much the exact same stuff. In fact, you can actually just copy this part of item base. Oh, don't know where all those errors came from. Yeah, just copy this part of item base and go into block base and just paste it, into your public constructor. So paste it there. We're gonna have to actually add one thing though. Above set unlocalized name, add super, and then in parentheses material with a semicolon at the end. And also make sure that it's not in the materials tab. Creative tabs dot. I'm going to put it in building blocks because that's where mine fits, but put it wherever, fits best for your block. So building blocks, like I said, we'll be making a custom creative tab later, so you don't need to worry about that. Now you definitely also want to import material up here. So import material from net.minecraft.block.material, and all we have to do now is set our register model. Oh, just kidding, I totally lied. We actually have to add it to our list. So below, or actually inside of our constructor, I'm a little faded today. Make sure you put mod blocks dot add, and just put this inside of it. That should work fine. With a semicolon. And I think we also need to add it to items too, because the new update, for some reason the new update makes like blocks and items blocks have to be both an item and a block now, so that's kind of weird. But add mod items dot items dot add. And this one's going to be kind of long, but it's going to be new item block, parentheses, inside of those, this, and then outside the parentheses, add a dot set registry name, and another set of parentheses, and this dot get registry name. And if you add a semicolon to that, it should be good. I think you have to import item block from net.minecraft.item, but if you do that, that should be good. Now all we have to do is add our unimplemented methods. So the register models method, if you don't remember. So head over to blockbase, this little arrow right here, and click add unimplemented methods. And you should get this little thing down here. You can just delete this to do. Oh, not the whole thing, that's a lie. Delete the to do. And inside the space, we're going to be actually kick down this bracket as well. Inside the space, we're going to be adding our main implementation. So main.proxy.register item renderer. And instead of item, we're going to be putting item with a capital I dot get item from block. And inside of the parentheses, we're going to be putting this because we're talking about this block. And meta is going to be 0. And the ID is just going to be inventory like it was last time. So inventory, and that should be our block base class completely done. Yeah. Cool. So now last thing we have to do before like working on textures is actually make sure that's registered in our registry handler. We did the same thing for our items. So you can get rid of item base. I don't know why this is up here, but go over to your util package, and inside of handlers there will be a class called Registry Handler that we made last time. Inside of here, it's going to be some copy and pasting. So first thing is copy this right here on item register. If you just Control C or copy, copy, and make a little space and paste it right below, you're going to be changing on item register to on block register. And instead of register item inside of the triangle brackets, you're going to be doing register block instead. Same thing for this. Instead of new item, it'll be new block. And also make sure instead of mod items.items, it is mod blocks.blocks. And make sure to definitely import mod blocks from your mod, and also import block from net.minecraft.block. It should fix this one too, and that should be that method good to go. Next, we have to add the for loop for our blocks, because as you can see down here, we have a for loop for our items, for registering the model. So just make a little space right here at the end of this for loop, and you can actually just copy and paste this for loop that we have right here down below. But of course, you're going to want to change item to block, and also this item to block with a lowercase b. Instead of mod items.items, we want mod blocks.blocks. And instead of item, put block here, and instead of item, put block here as well. And that should be, if I save, yeah, so that should be our registry handler class completely done. So now we can actually start working on our textures. So next up is everybody's least favorite part of modding, which is the textures. And this includes way more JSON files than last time. If you remember, in the last episode, we made a JSON for our Ruby and our obsidian ingot. It's going to be the same sort of thing for the block, except we're going to have to make 3. And if even one of them is messed up even a little bit, not only will it not tell you, but it'll also like ruin all 3. So definitely make sure that you're doing it correctly. Like I said before, I will have a JSON validator in the description to make sure that your JSON is correct. So be sure to check that out. But in this case, since it's so hard to type them in Eclipse without like messing it up, I actually created them a little while ago, and on here I have 3 paste bins for the 3 different JSONs that you need. So I'll be going through each one and copy and pasting them. They will be in the description, so you don't have to do any work, just copy and paste them. It's a lot easier, and it'll save you a lot of frustration, especially since they're like the #1 cause of problems when modding. So first one we're going to deal with is our block states. So go back to Eclipse, and we're going to have to make some new packages inside of our assets. So inside our source main resources folder, within our assets your mod ID, that package, we're going to right click, add new package, and right after your mod ID, in my case is TM for tutorial mod, add a dot and block states. This is going to be this block state for our block, essentially. It's pretty self-explanatory. So inside here, right click, new, and untitled text file, and you're going to want to go to the paste bin for block states JSON that I'll have in the description, and just copy and paste this into here, and it'll look just like this. And when you hit save, oh, actually first, before we save, make sure that you change this part right here. This is the important part. So for me, it's TM Ruby block, because TM is my mod ID. I don't know why I blinked there. And this is my block. So make sure that's your mod ID right here. So if your mod ID is like void rift mod, and then if your block is hardened _dirt_ block, it should look like that. So make sure you customize it based on that. So for me, it's TM tutorial mod and Ruby _block. And once you're done with that, save, and you're going to want to name it the same thing that you're going to name your texture, and also the same name of your item. So whatever you put up here, essentially. So Ruby _block .json. Very important that you put .json, and save it in tutorial mod, source, main, resources, assets, TM, or whatever your mod ID is, block states. Save it right here and hit OK. And you should see right here, if we delete this and open it back up again, we have Ruby _block .json. And yeah, so that should be good. Then next, we're gonna have to make a model item and a model block JSON. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of confusing, but just follow with me. So come over to your models.item package right here, and you're gonna want to right click that, hit new package, and instead of item, delete that and put block. And inside of here, you are going to put, just like how we have our item JSONs inside of here, you're going to want to put a block JSON in here. So right click that block package, hit new and untitled text file, and go back to the paste bin. This time you're going to want to find models/block, and inside of here, models/block JSON, copy this and paste it inside of here like we did last time. And again, make sure to change this part right here. In this case, change this part right here, your mod ID, and this part right here, your block name or whatever you named it, and also the name of your PNG file. Don't change this because that's what we're gonna have set as our pathway for our item. So just keep that the way it is, but change this part and change this part. Oh, not that whole part, just this part right here. So save this, and you're going to want to call it again the same thing, ruby_block.json, and save that in tutorial mod, source, main, resources, assets, tm, or whatever your mod ID is, textures, oh not textures, sorry I lied, models, block, and save it right there, hit OK, and if we delete, or not delete, just close out, and we open it back up, there we go, it should be working all good. So next we have to actually make a models item JSON, which is kind of weird, but it's something to do with the new update having to be a item and a block at the same time. So go over to your item sub package inside of the models package and right click, new, and untitled text file, and go back to your paste bin. This will be the last and final JSON. Go to models.item. It should be item, not items. I don't know why I put items, but the models/item JSON paste bin, and just paste this one. It's very simple. Just paste it into here, and once again change your mod ID right here from TM to whatever your mod ID is, and also change the name of your block right here. But make sure to keep this right here. This stays the same, and make sure it's block, not blocks. And so once you're done with that, save, and again name it the same exact thing, ruby_block. You can see how this can get kind of confusing and mess you up. .json. And once again, save it in tutorial mod, source, main, resources, assets, your mod ID, models, and this time item. And you're going to want to save that. And if you close out of it and open it back up, we should have a working one. So now we have 3 working JSON files. And oh, I don't know what I just did there. There we go. Close my package explorer. So now we have 3 working JSON files. And if we put our texture inside of our mod, it should work. So you're going to want to come to your textures.items right here and make a block subclass. So instead of textures.items, textures.blocks. Make sure it's blocks with an S, not block. If it's block, it won't work. So it has to be blocks, plural. Finish. And if we go to our desktop here, I actually have our texture right here. I have a Ruby block. Someone pointed out in the last episode that I said you want a 64 by 64 pixel image for Minecraft mods. That's incorrect. Don't follow that. It should be 16 by 16 pixels. That's what I have here. You can see ours is a Ruby block. You can get these off Google, or I will be linking sooner or later a video on how to actually make these yourself in GIMP or Photoshop. It's very simple, but I have Ruby block here, and I'm going to go into our Minecraft modding folder, tutorial mod, source, main, resources, assets, your mod ID, and then textures and blocks, and just plop it in there. And if we go back to our Eclipse and we refresh, so right click on the package, or not package, sorry, the entire project, and refresh, it should pop up right here. There we go, ruby_block.png. And if we load Minecraft, it should give us our block. So I will see you guys in a second when we click run client right here. Okay, so now that we're inside of Minecraft, we can actually find our blocks. So if we go into our creative inventory, and make sure to go to the creative tab that you set. I set mine to building blocks. Just go wherever you set yours, and if you scroll all the way down, you should find your block right here. We haven't actually named it yet, so it's going to say tile dot whatever, but it should function correctly. Yeah, so if you place it down, you can see throw it, it looks and acts like a block. So yeah, you've added your own custom block. If you notice when I place it down, here's the noise. I don't know if you can hear that on the video, but it sounds like an iron block. That's because we set the material to iron, so you can mess around with that. And yeah, so next we're gonna actually name the block. So you're gonna want to head back into Eclipse. Back inside of Eclipse, head over to your assets.tm package and find your lang package, and make sure to find the en_us.lang file. And if we double click that, you can see we have our item section up here. Make a new section, so / blocks. And below here, we're going to be naming our Ruby block. So instead of item dot whatever, it's going to be tile dot the name of your block. So ruby_block dot name, and this is going to equal no spaces. In my case, sometimes you'd say like dirt block or whatever, but since I want to make mine very similar to like the emerald block, which is named block of emerald, I'm going to be putting block of ruby. And if you save that, we'll pop back into Minecraft and make sure it worked. Alright, so back inside of Minecraft, we can see that if we hover over our block, it now has a name. So it says block of ruby, and it should be a fully functioning block. Again, you can change the texture or do whatever you want to it, and in a few extra episodes, in the future, we'll be talking about how to actually like make custom shaped blocks that don't just look like a square, and also set like cool parameters like hardness level and how like resistant it is to explosives and creepers and that sort of stuff. But we'll be doing that later. For now, this is just a basic block. So finally, just like what I did with the items tutorial, I want to do the same thing here where I show you how easy it is to add a new block now that you set up the pre-existing like backbone structure of your code. So if you ever want to add a new block now, all you have to do is go to modblocks.java and just copy and paste this string right here, right below, and all you have to do is change this name right here, so dirty_block, and also change this one, dirty_block. And change the material if you want to, and then all you have to do is create 3 new JSON files with the exact same code, except change everything to your new name, and that should work, and you should have your new items. So it's really, really simple, really easy to add new items now, or not items, sorry, new blocks. So yeah. Thanks guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you learned something and were able to create a custom block with hopefully no errors. In the next few episodes, we'll be working on armor and items and food, and then we'll be getting into farming and mobs and all sorts of stuff, so don't worry, all that stuff will be coming. Apologies for how long this video took to make. I recently just got out of finals, or midterms I guess, for my school, so that's why it took so long. But thank you guys for sticking with me, and I will see you guys in the next episode.